How do we stand? What's in store for us Americans? We just don't know. It's a time of continuing crisis, of uncertainty, of wars which are not called wars, of sudden sharp incidents in far-off places which could set the world afire. Our lands are peaceful and productive, our cities busy and prosperous, but it's a nervous calm we live in. The one thing we're certain of is that we must prepare for any eventuality. We must build our armed forces to a point where we can beat back aggression against ourselves or our allies anywhere on Earth. Defense anywhere on the globe, wherever necessity dictates, is a tough, exacting mission. And an important part of that mission, to build advanced bases from which our planes can fly and ships sail, is the responsibility of the Naval Construction Forces, the Seabees. As we blueprint for global defense, we find some ugly new wrinkles to contend with. New weapons, the atom bomb, too. They make necessary new planning to meet changed conditions of warfare. For this reason, the role of the Naval Construction Forces has been redefined for those changed requirements. World War II was one thing. Then the Seabees brilliantly accomplished their mission. A long and painful island-to-island march across the Pacific to Japan and the difficult landings on the beaches of Europe. Now the Naval Construction Forces are preparing to do another job when called upon, and the emphasis is on speed and mobility. The new construction battalions are being trained and equipped to get into a place fast, to build at high speed with a minimum of materials, and to move out fast to prepare for another operation elsewhere. To get increased mobility, Navy civil engineers have set up a new organizational structure for the Naval Construction Forces. The new organization is built around two types of battalions: the Amphibious Construction Battalion, which operates as part of the Naval Beach Group, and the Mobile Construction Battalion, which normally would relieve the amphibious Seabees within 30 days of the initial landings and develop the base according to plan. They are the 1-2 punch of the Naval Construction Forces, quick-moving, closely integrated, and self-sufficient battalions. Our purpose in this film will be to study an Amphibious Construction Battalion, an ACB, to see what it's made of and what it can do. But before we do this, let's set the record straight on one score. The individual CB, amphibious or mobile, is still the same old workhorse, the guy with spirit who can and will work round the clock in an emergency. And his tools will generally be the same: the welding torch, hammer and nails, a wrench, and as ever, a pair of capable hands. In fact, it was like the old days at Salerno or Omaha Beach when United Nations forces in Korea made their end run from the Puzen perimeter into Incheon Harbor. Seabees were right there on D-Day putting down pontoon causeways and docks. Now let's see what makes an amphibious construction battalion tick. First, and this is essential to remember, the ACB is a part of the Naval Beach Group, which in turn is the naval component of the Shore Party Task Organization. The Naval Beach Group consists of a headquarters unit, a beachmaster unit, the Amphibious Construction Battalion, a boat unit, and a unit consisting of 2 or more underwater demolition teams. The ACB works in close collaboration with the other members of the Naval Beach Group, both in training and in actual operations. Let's trace a hypothetical operation through. Here's a vacant stretch of coastline, which we shall name simply White Beach. White Beach might be anywhere in the world. Plans call for amphibious landings by the Marines, after which the beach will be developed swiftly by NACB to support the Naval Beach Group during the assault and consolidation phases of the landing operations. The prime mission of the amphibious Seabees will be to install and maintain pontoon causeways at White Beach, to improve beaching conditions, and to establish camp for the Naval Beach Group. Let's assume that our Amphibious Construction Battalion has just been formed and is training and equipping at an amphibious base for the operations at White Beach. The battalion is set up similar to the organization of a ship, with a complement of 36 officers, 806 men. The commanding officer, executive officer, and operations officer have duties and responsibilities normal to a naval line organization. Under them, the battalion is divided into 6 companies: the headquarters company, equipment company, construction company, and 3 pontoon companies. Each has a company commander and company executive officer. The headquarters company supports the battalion, and here are found Seabees with rates other than the construction rates, such as storekeepers, yeomen in personnel and administration, commissary men, stewards, and hospital men. The headquarters company provides such battalion functions as design and engineering, ordnance, surveying, security and intelligence, and photography. Company Able is the equipment company. It's divided into 3 platoons: 1 for repair and maintenance, 2 for equipment operation. In the equipment company, we find construction rates only, the CB specialists, drivers, mechanics, gas and diesel, steel workers, construction men. And generally, there'll be a warrant or chief around to boss proceedings. Baker Company is the construction company. It's divided into 3 platoons, 1 for light construction, the 2nd for heavy construction, and the 3rd for utilities. Here again, the construction rates: builders, steel workers, utilities men, construction electricians, and a sprinkling of apprentices working for a rate in the field of their choice. Companies Charlie, Dog, and Easy are the pontoon companies, and these are unique to the Amphibious Construction Battalion. Each is organized into a causeway platoon, a barge platoon, and a warping tug platoon. In the pontoon companies, we find Seabees with bosun's mate ratings. They man the barges. They need that knack of seamanship every bit as much as any deep-water sailor in the Navy. Such is the composition of our Amphibious Construction Battalion. It's a closely knit outfit trained as a unit of the Naval Beach Group, and every man jack of it must know his own job well, and in addition be prepared to take part in the pontoon operations at White Beach. The Amphibious Seabees training is arduous. Their mission, to grab a toehold on the beach immediately after the first waves of Marines attack. The going probably will be hot and heavy on those White Beach landings, and so the Seabees must be in condition as fighting men. Their training is supervised by Marine combat veterans. The Amphibious Seabees must know how to handle weapons. Chances are the enemy will be over that first hill while they're building camp and might decide to interfere. Perimeter defense training. The Seabees learn to scoop out a foxhole with all the efficiency of the oldest pros in the Marines, and they can conceal themselves just as fast when there's an air alert. Our ACB is trained to a fine point as D-Day at White Beach approaches. Now, as combat loading gets underway, let's take a look at some of the equipment the battalion will need to do its job. When it leaves the forward staging area, the battalion will be self-sufficient, equipped and ready to keep house on the beachhead for a maximum of 30 days. There won't be an unnecessary pound taken aboard. On an operation, the amphibious CBs live austerely. But everything that is genuinely essential is figured in, from a complete mobile galley to the rations which supply it, right on down to can openers to get at the rations which supply the galley. The basic needs of the men are carefully provided for: clothing, medicines, foods. Here comes the big stuff rolling down to be loaded. Cranes like this, dozers, tractors, scrapers. Everything necessary to get that advanced base at White Beach started right is shipped. A lot of wheels, cargo trucks, dump trucks, jeeps, trailers in which to carry water or fuel. Good shop equipment is a must. Electrical equipment, including generators and a couple of miles of electric wire to provide power on the beach. But the really ponderous stuff which the battalion must carry are the pontoon causeways, barges, tugs, and pontoon hardware. The causeways are pre-assembled at the staging area into strings and then launched into the water and brought into position alongside LSTs, which transport them to the objective area. The causeway sections are hoisted aboard, lashed into position, and side-carried in this manner. Pontoon barges are also side-carried. Warping tugs are the new all-round workhorses of the Amphibious Construction Battalion. 6 are allowed for the operation at White Beach, and all 6 will be as busy as beavers when the operation gets rolling. The best way to get warping tugs from here to there is in the well deck of an LSD. Float her in, and later float her out. In a pinch, they can be carried on a ship's deck or towed if conditions are right. The remainder of the heavyweight gear, such as anchors for the causeways, pontoon hardware, and extra pontoons, are shipped as regular cargo. With the LSTs fully loaded, the amphibious show is ready to go on the road to White Beach. The decks are piled rail to rail with ACB equipment. The personnel are aboard in battle dress, and the heavily loaded ships pull out to rendezvous at the objective area just before D-Day. Meanwhile, as the hour of attack draws near, combat ships soften up enemy defenses at White Beach. Underwater demolition teams clear a path through the approaches to the shore and set up beach markers for the amphibious CBs to shoot at with their causeways. At H hour, the first waves of Marines attack. And soon after, when the first section of beach has been brought under control, the amphibious CBs unlimber and go to work. The mission is simple and direct. Get the causeways down and supplies ashore fast. Offshore, the lashings holding the pontoon strings to the LSTs are cut on signal. The first string drops with a 90-ton splash. Now the second string. CBs clamber aboard, and the 2 sections are put together. Now we're ready for the run to the beach. It can be 2 ways. First, the momentum run with an LST. By this method, when the ship grounds, the causeway is thrust forward onto the beach. Or second, a warping tug can tie on and push the causeway into shore. Whichever way is used, the CBs riding in make for dry land to set beach anchors or make fast to a duck the moment the causeway is aground. Next, the outboard end of the 2-string causeway is married to an LST. The first vehicle over the iron road is a dozer. The dozer, once ashore, promptly sets about working the causeway into exactly the right position. Warping tug or small boat crews set anchors to keep it from broaching. And now, in a surprisingly short time, the Seabees have given us a ship-to-shore bridge which is, well, almost as sound as Highway 66. And the gear rolls onto White Beach. Mission accomplished for the day? Not yet, not by a long shot. This barren stretch of sand is going to be home for the Naval Beach Group for a while. Something's got to be made of it. First, we'll need a temporary supply dump for all that stuff coming ashore over the causeway and on the decks of pontoon barges, which are plying back and forth with full loads from ships farther out. Seabees go to work leveling a dump on the beach. Others from the construction company start to cut a road through for a beach exit. Meanwhile, mechs from the ACB are servicing equipment. This crew is servicing a duck which sounded a little off time on its last run to shore. Salvage is an important function of the Amphibious Construction Battalion. The warping tug is first rate at this sort of work, and so is this surf crane, which is busy salvaging a barge swamped in the breakers just offshore. It's the responsibility of the amphibious Seabees to set up camp for all members of the Naval Beach Group. Surveyors lay out the campsite in an area which is easily defended. There's no doubt of it, no advanced base ever started from less than this one at White Beach. It'll be absolute austerity for the Seabees and the beach masters and everyone else in the Naval Beach Group. The very minimum of facilities. The men will live in pup tents. Their food will be packaged rations until a kitchen can be established. And water will be supplied temporarily from this distillation unit, which takes the salt out of and purifies the seawater. Utilities men tackle the problem of camp sanitation, while electricians and linemen work rapidly to set up a communication system and to get electric power on the beachhead. Camp security is essential. Weapons are issued and sentries posted for perimeter defense. All is well as the Amphibious Battalion completes the first phase of operations at White Beach. From now on, it'll be consolidation work for the ACBs until a mobile construction battalion comes in to develop White Beach as an advanced base. Priority projects now include causeway maintenance and repair, establishing supply dumps behind the beaches and building a network of roads connecting them, erecting hospital tents and setting up evacuation points for the wounded, and extending camp facilities. A mobile kitchen rolls in to service the Naval Beach Group, and the chow improves greatly. The big job of the amphibious Seabees to make a going concern of a beachhead is finished. But make no mistake, there'll be no work famine for the Seabees. That can-do slogan means a lot. For one thing, it means that the Seabees usually are doing. As any one of them will say, somebody always wants something from the Seabees. The Amphibious Construction Battalion has taken the beachhead development through the assault and consolidation phases of the operation at White Beach. They've made a start on an advanced base, and it will be up to a mobile construction battalion to build from this point. When the mobile Seabees come in, the work of the two battalions will overlap for a short period, but the amphibious boys will move out generally within 30 days. They're going back light to train and re-equip for a new mission, for another white beach, which might be anywhere on the face of the earth.